Welcome to Miss Stories in Crime. I'm your host, Melissa Thompson. Today is Monday, November 22nd, 2021, and I'd like to talk to you about some things that have been going on in the Wells case. Okay, so last week we had some interesting events happen with Robin, but we will get back to that shortly. I did want to let you guys know that I did think that Don and Candus did something nice. They made a marker in remembrance of Summer to keep her name out and to keep her memory alive in Utah. And they uploaded it to the Don Wells Family official YouTube channel. And it was very, very beautiful. The imagery is just beautiful. And I must say, I really, really like that. And I think it was a beautiful moment, and because she liked to be out in nature so much, I think it was the perfect place to put a marker for her. I'd like to see them do the same in Tennessee, where she lived, she played, she loved. I'd like to see that. So now, let's get into a few things about the behavior panel, Dr. Phil, Ronnie Lawson, Brian Entin, the whole thing. Robin Lane, Chris McDonough. There's a lot, you guys. Okay, so when Brian Entin from News Nation Now went down to Tennessee in Rogersville to investigate the Summer Wells case, he had a conversation with Donald Wells. He also met with Ronnie Lawson. Now, when he met with Ronnie Lawson, we found out that Candus and Donald have passed lie detector tests. Okay, now, first of all, lie detector tests, polygraph tests are a tool in an investigation. They are not admissible in court because they are highly unreliable. It's just a tool to aid investigators on where to go. Now, are you able to fake them? Absolutely. Can you be innocent and fail them? Absolutely. Yes, all of that is true. Now, also, it depends. Is there medication involved while you're taking the polygraph? Alcohol, medical conditions, is it, like basically high blood pressure? Are you stressed out? And of course, in a situation where your child is missing, you are going to be stressed out. That is going to be the most unbelievable hurt you ever felt. And I've told you, I lost my eldest daughter. So in that way, I do feel for the Wells. And especially their daughter is missing and then their boys go missing. But what I have a problem with is the way they handle things. They don't do anything to get the boys back. They're just living in their own little world, and they won't get their act clean. And I think that they need professional help, which they don't seem to want to get. Now, what I would like to know are what were the questions asked? Because that makes the test results, that it can make it vary, And in fact, when we go back to Dr. Phil and the behavioral panel, they believe that Candus is hiding something. Dr. Phil and the behavioral panel both think that. Now, they do not think that they had anything to do with a murder or an injury or anything like that, but they think it's Candus who is holding back. Now, nobody has been able to interview publicly Grandus. So she too can be holding something back because those two were the ones left at the house. And I'm getting the feeling that the boys didn't even see Summer, or maybe saw her for a minute. Okay, so how did they pass the lie detector test? Could it be that they passed the lie detector test because they actually didn't do anything to Summer bad? But could it be that one or both of them know that she went to someone who they believed was good and had good intentions. I do not believe that Donald is part of that. Maybe he suspects something, but I'm going to go with Grandus and Candus on that one. And that is my opinion. That is not a fact. It's just how I've been seeing things. Now, I also want you guys to go watch something. Michelle After Dark, who we all know and love, well, she has a second channel, Michelle Walks. And let me tell you guys, this case blew my mind. William Terrell from Australia. Well, Michelle on Michelle Walks covered that yesterday. You guys, you really need to go listen to that video because the comparisons to that case and to Summer Wells are creepy. There are so many things that are similar in those two cases that William went missing from the property where his foster mother, foster father, and foster grandmother are living. They said he was playing outside. They heard him. He was in a Spider-Man costume. He was playing tiger with his sister. They heard him. They had seen him. And the next thing you know, he's vanished. Okay? And Dr. Phil and all of us, whether we like Dr. Phil or not, we can all agree somebody doesn't just vanish into thin air. There's always another factor to it, whether they took off on their own, whether a person familiar with them grabbed them, a stranger abduction. There's plenty of things, whether they wandered off just by going to follow a butterfly. And, this was also a rural property, just like the Wells. And it was surrounded by woods with wild animals, again, like the Wells. You guys really need to go and listen to this. And Michelle brought this up because this happened in 2014. Well, right now, guess what the Australian law enforcement believe happened in this case? They are investigating where the foster grandmother lived because they believe William Tyrell's remains are there. And they believe that the foster grandmother, now this is speculation, but this is where their investigation is leading right now. The foster grandmother and the foster mother had something to do with William going missing. They sought for so long that it was a stranger abduction, and that's the only avenue that they were going on, that it was a stranger abduction. And Michelle goes into how they tried to pin this crime about William's disappearance on this man who had alibis, digital alibis, and yet they continued to harass this man, and it was never him. And then also in William's case, the foster dad, he went into town because he had a business call to make and he needed better reception. Again, a rural area like the Wells, they don't have great reception. He was not around that house when William went missing. He has been cleared by authorities for a long time. Now, what I don't know in that case is if the foster family passed lie detector test. Now, according back then, Michelle goes into this, but the authorities were convinced that the foster family was innocent. Convinced of that. They thought, nope, stranger abduction. And they kept to the same story, repetitive, almost, in my opinion, as if it was rehearsed. And what do we think about that in the Wells case? To me, a lot of what comes out of their mouths seems rehearsed. And I am starting to think that Donald is only repeating the story that Candus, and I don't even know if Grandus talks to him or not, but I'm sure he's heard something from the events of June 15th of 2021. I'm starting to think now Donald really doesn't know what's going on. He's only going by his wife's accounts and this. And I do agree with the behavioral panel that Candus is hiding something. She is the one that was there, and she's saying someone came up and took Summer. The same scenario as William Terrell. Same. You guys really, really need to go check out that video. It's almost like Madeline McCann of the UK. Then we have William Terrell of Australia. And then we have Summer Moon Utah Wells of the United States. These cases are very, very similar to one another. But what makes William's case and Summer's case so much more close together is that the rural area, mom and grandma are the ones that are home, and the sister was with William at that time that he was playing and gone missing, just vanished, right? And guess what? Summer was home with her brothers and her mother and her grandmother. Same, similar instances. And we know that there have been several suspects that they have been looking at, especially neighbors. The guy, Jackie Dobbs, that, bought property near the wells. Then we've had several church people come up. Now, I know Robin has been a topic of interest lately. And I think part of that is because she's very close to the wells. She's very protective of the wells. And Chris McDonough from the interview room released the interview he did with Robin Lane that back in July. He just released it last week. So we got to see how she was feeling at the time. And we learned that the Wells are not members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, even though Don that has always been his religion. And I don't think Candus is that religious. I think she just participates with Don and the family. And they think it's good for the children to learn good values and socialize. Robin went on and spoke about how Summer clung to her all the time. She said in her words that Summer was craving love. And I think Robin did know that. And she was very fearful of Chris McDonough getting something out of her that she didn't want to say. She was very, very afraid of that. I think she felt intimidated by Chris McDonough. And she went on to the Don Wells Family official channel and made a new video with Don and Candus. And she seemed very upset about that interview finally coming to light. She goes, I don't know what's going to happen, how my words are going to be twisted, but she did not want that video to come out. She did not want that interview. She seemed to wish she never did the interview. Now, Robin confirmed that, yes, her husband bought a maroon Toyota Tacoma, which was her father's or father-in-law's. And she said you would have to be some kind of stupid to buy the vehicle in question in this whole thing. But I think people are coming back to her and David Dotson because, well, first of all, the two of them inserted themselves in the investigation from the get-go, the very beginning. And yes, Candus did call both of them. That is true. But one thing that's sticking out to people is that Robin crossed out the Toyota Tacoma on the flyer, saying it had been ruled out without confirmation from TBI or local law enforcement. And I think that brings up a red flag to a lot of people. And I heard about this video. I have not been able to locate it. Apparently, there's a video, and I'm saying this allegedly because I have not seen it, but Robin is trying to get Summer to pay attention to David Dotson, the flute guy. And Summer seems very uncomfortable, allegedly, from what I heard. And so he's being brought back up in this whole mess because after Summer disappeared, he stuck around for a little while. But now they say he left to a Baptist church because he met a woman and he's in a relationship. Now, I am not saying Robin or David Dotson have anything to do with it. I think their names are being brought up because they were close to the Wells at the time. I mean, I don't think David Dotson was as close as Robin is. Robin hung out with them and brought her daughter to the home. And Robin has been all over this case from the get-go. And her showing up at the parade, holding the flag, she had a relationship with Summer. Summer looked up to Robin. She loved Robin. And I think she loved the fact that Robin paid attention to her, showed her love and caring. And I think people are looking now for the familiar person that would have taken Summer off that property, if that is the case. According to Ronnie Lawson, still, there is no evidence that there was an abduction. None whatsoever. And everyone in this case, and there are a lot of players, you guys. Like, I think we need to draw a map of all the players that are involved in this case. And they all seem to have some lies come in and out, allegedly, in my opinion, involved. So you have all these players involved. They all, have a little bit to do with this or that. And somebody's looking for the person who was the familiar person to have abducted Summer. So is that the reason why the Wells passed the polygraph test? Or are the Wells actually innocent in all of this? And it was a stranger abduction, and possibly Summer is in another state somewhere. But I'm going to go back to this, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are. I don't think we've left that property yet. The clues still lie on the property. It's the property outside of that house. And definitely go check out Michelle Walk's video about William Terrell. You will see a lot of red flags in that case, and then compare it to Summer Wells' case. It is quite scary. I hope you all are well. I know it's Thanksgiving week. I know there's a lot of craziness going on in this world right now. Such sad events coming out of Wisconsin. I was crying through the press conference. I just feel horrible for all that have been affected by that. My thoughts and prayers go out to all of you, everyone that needs some love and prayers right now. I am with you. Sending hugs and love and peace and light to all of you. Take care, everyone. I will see you really soon. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.